Hey everyone, I'm Holly. Hope all is well with you. I just wanted to speak a little bit on a few terms. So, one being the term God, and one being the term Jesus. I was raised with the opportunity to learn about the ways of the church, about the ways of Christianity and the Bible. My parents weren't religious, although my mom and my aunt helped to teach Sunday school. So we would go to church, and then as children we would go down to Sunday school. And I remember, so I was baptized Christian United, and my great-grandfather was one of the co-founders of the church that we went to. I was 12 years old when I ran away from church. I literally walked out at the beginning of the service, and I cannot tell you why. I walked out and I walked home. And this church was on the complete opposite side of town. And at the time, the town had 82,000 people in it, I believe. So on the other side of town, I walked home at 12 years old. Now at the time, it was one main road. I don't know how many lanes it was at that time. It still might have been 4 lanes with a grass culvert median in the middle. And then to get to my home, I have to walk through a big field, down over the creek, up to my back fence. As I got to the fence and I walked in the gate, my family pulled in. Now, again, I can't remember why I did that. Although what I can tell you that I do remember is I was extremely uncomfortable at church. I was uncomfortable with the term God. I was uncomfortable with the term Jesus. I was uncomfortable with how scripted everything was, how there was no discussion. It was just, this is what it is, and this is what you need to do, and this is who you need to follow. And we were intruded on in our space, our bubble. It was basically mandatory handshakes and hugs. A few times throughout the service, you're supposed to look around and hug the people around you. Imagine you're a child and you're being forced to hug all these strangers. No boundaries. And after that, I was extremely confused. And it's not that I didn't believe in a God. It's that the term God, I didn't know what that meant to me. I only knew what everyone else was trying to force on me. And I didn't know what the term Jesus meant. And it's crazy because how the church is run and how differently each church is run, until you know who you are and what you value, it's impossible to be comfortable with certain terms. The labels that we place on things cause confusion, and it causes separation. These labels that everyone's chosen to use. Now they teach he, she, they, them, whatever else in school. You can be a cat now. What do you call them? Fluffykins or whatever the heck, with the litter boxes in the bathrooms? Anyways, the labels are nuts. The labels are causing people to be confused and causing the separation and causing you to lose common sense, critical thinking, You can't even use your intuition anymore because you're told exactly how to do things, where to do it, when to do it, who to do it with, who you can't do it with. You're so afraid that you'll be judged for being yourself, but then again, you don't even know who you are. So, last year we spent time in Mennonite country, and their church, we were welcomed into their church, their school. We were invited to weddings. We were invited to big gatherings. After church on Sundays, we'd go to, they call it dinner. Dinner's the largest meal of the day, so it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And their church, like, the first time I went into their church and we were singing, I almost cried. They don't preach. They discuss. They have open dialogue. They accept everyone's opinions and everyone's values, and they don't judge. They look to learn. So in a normal church, there'd be a pastor or a priest or someone up there preaching and reading the Bible. And so what they do here is they go up and it's usually always the men. The men are on one side of the church, the women are on the other. And the men go up and he says, you know, I was thinking this one scripture, they were talking about hair. And then I was thinking, like, are we supposed to cut our hair? Does our hair grow long? What's the purpose of our hair? Did Jesus have a beard? They spark and trigger thoughts within you. They trigger growth within the community. Their community was, for the most part, super strong and connected. They helped each other to grow and expand through contemplation, through asking questions, through being seen. I went into Bible study and they were, I believe it would be put best that they were caught off guard with my knowledge and how I triggered things within them. Being an outsider, they don't. So this Mennonite community is a more modern Mennonite community. So the women make their own dresses and the girls, and so they all make their own clothes. The men look like just this, normal. You wouldn't be able to tell they're Mennonites. They're not like horse and buggies and wearing black or... So they forget that there's a world outside of them because they're so at peace. They know their values, and they welcomed myself and my child into their school and their church and their homes, and they never judged. They prayed for me. Imagine a single mother with a young child hauling a truck and a trailer, moving by herself, doing everything by herself, setting up a big planters and shausugi banning them and just all of it by myself. I know they prayed for me several times, and they would always check in too. They still check in. And I haven't been there since August or September. So that's what, 8 months almost? They messaged me at Christmas. They messaged me at Easter. More than one family. So until you know who you are and what you value, the term God and Jesus may make you uncomfortable. So Jesus was a man. He embodied the spirit of Sananda. He had lived several lifetimes before, and he became an ascended master. In the time we knew him as Yeshua, or until they added J to the alphabet, now it's Jesus. Jesus Christ the Nazarene, not Jesus Murphy, as my friend Alexander will remind me. Shoutouts to Alexander, what's up? So, Jesus was a man, an ascended master. Through the lifetimes that he had lived prior and the 40 days and 40 nights of sacrifice, he knew exactly who he was, and his connection to God is so powerful. He spoke with conviction, with confidence. The term God made me uncomfortable because I had no connection. Those around me had confusion, and now I know that we hold the living God within us. Well, not all of us do. You have the option to, although you either choose the light or the dark. And once you can balance that out, then you choose the term that you want to use. God is divine source energy, the energy source that we all came from. We were made in the image of God. We are one. God is us. When you can connect to your higher self with confidence, divine source energy flows through you. You no longer need the external sources that you've been relying on in your codependency and your toxic relationships. You choose yourself, and maybe not everyone can be a lone wolf like me. Not everyone would understand my journey. God gave that journey to me. How could you ever understand my journey? You can hear me. I can be a way shower for you. You can't be me. You can't embody my energy. So get to know who you are and what your values are and where you came from. Who is your creator? You didn't just appear for no reason here. You appeared for a reason. You have a purpose to be here. Even those dark entities had a purpose to be here. Their time has been done as of years ago, and they didn't want to give up. So now they're all being taken out. You're about to see a lot of death. Whether that's overdoses, suicide, with suicide notes being left behind, whether that's their souls literally dying inside them because they just did too much. You see, people's mental state right now is not good. Some people are really hiding it well because they are scared. So get to know you. Get to know you. You can become your own therapist. When you know who you are, you know what you need. You know how to pull yourself back up out of that rut and dust yourself off and keep moving. All of you have a reason to be here. Find your reason to live again. Take the 40 days and 40 nights of sacrifice and go away from everyone. Shut your phone down. Get to know yourself. Stop drinking. Stop doing drugs. Stop altering your mental state. Alcohol is the worst. You mask the emotions. You can't grow until you feel that. You need to feel the feelings to grow. Release the traumas. Until you feel those feelings, you'll keep reliving the traumas. We just closed out a 7 to 10 year karmic cycle, and you're starting up a new one. You're starting up a new karmic cycle right now. When you choose to keep drinking, when you choose to stay in that toxic relationship that you've known forever, you've known for years that you shouldn't be there. What are you doing? Why are you still sitting there? Forgive yourself for being blind before. Care enough about yourself to do something about it. Quit that job. I've had 2 people today say to me, oh, work. That whole work thing, why do we have to do that? Well, if you don't like your job, why are you there? That's been my advice for 20 years. Well, if you don't like them, then why are you with them? Well, why are you complaining about her? Just leave her. What? You don't like your job? Find out what you do like and go and change your job. All these people love to complain, but they do nothing about it. Love yourself enough to do what makes you happy. Whether that's leaving friends or family, it doesn't matter. Be you. Be who God, who Divine Source Energy created you to be. Remember where you came from. It's so worth it. It's worth being alone. To connect with all of your spiritual army. Well, I've got a spiritual army. I don't know how many you guys got, but if you've seen these guys and these women, they're all warriors. Anyways, just take care of yourself. It's worth it. It's painful to let go. You find yourself in the chaos. Mwah. Blessings to you all.